Hey guys, it's Nian again, and I am bringing you game 2 of the Liquid HerO vs Liquid TaeJa series, and this is on GSL Atlantis spaceship, and this is Liquid HerO, the red Protoss over in the bottom left, and up here as the Terran we've got Liquid TaeJa, who is currently 1-0 down in this series. HerO took the first game on TSL 4 Ohana, and so TaeJa, it's pretty early on in the series. It's best of 5, so the overall victor of the series needs to win 3 out of the 5 matches. So we've still got at least 2 more games to play. So TaeJa, he can be a tiny bit relaxed about this, but obviously he wants to win, so he'll probably try and play to his best ability. But pylon going down, supply depot going down, standard openings for the moment, and we've got the scouting probe coming along for HerO, going to come up the ramp, see the barracks and the supply depot, raises the supply depot to try and stop the probe, I think as an automatic reflex, because there's not really much point in raising that supply depot to block the probe when you've got a gaping hole there. So probe going to have a mosey around, try and kill the barracks off a bit, and it's going to distract that probe away, losing precious mining time. If we go to the income tab, 500 minerals to 420, so HerO tiny bit ahead in the macro stakes at the moment by about 100, but once there's an orbital command and TaeJa can pull down a couple of mules, that should be evened out. So barracks is going to complete, and marine straight away. If we go to the production tab, we've got a marine and an SCV on the way for TaeJa, and now we're getting the orbital command, and that supply depot is going down, which is effectively now trapping the probe, if I can find it. Yep, the probe is now trapped in his base, which is a sneaky move by Liquid TaeJa, and we have the scouting SCV going across into HerO's base. There's nothing much in HerO's base, going for the cyber core behind the mineral line again, and pylon gateway out front. But we're getting double gas here. It's probably about the right time to get double gas, but that probe's still surprisingly alive, which is quite strange considering that he had two marines out and has a full wall off. So there's not really all that much space to run, though I suppose he could have microed up there and micro down there, but when you've got 2 marines you should really have all bases covered, I'd have thought. But anyway, I digress. Cybercore warp gate research coming, and chrono boosting a stalker out of the gateway, presumably in case TaeJa tries to go straight out with his marines, and the scouting probe making its way back across the field towards, well, I say field, more like metal ship. Yeah, it is a spaceship, it's not a shipyard. But if we look at the units tab, 22 probes to 20 and a mule, and with the income, it's now shifted in favour of TaeJa both ways. So, mule doing its parts for the greater good, and floating the factory down to land next to the barracks and starport. So I think it's looking at the moment as though it's going to be a 1-1-1. Starport going next to tech lab, and those 3 marines deny that stalker the waltz up into the base and probe harass. But over in HerO's base we have 2 more gateways, 2 more pylons, so he's now going to go up to 3 gates. Warp gate research is almost done, and that looks like Banshee Cloak and a Banshee. I'll just check that out. Yes, that is Banshee Cloak and Banshee, so TaeJa going Cloak Banshees, and reactor building presumably for Hellion harass from the factory. More marines getting pumped out of the barracks, because that's the only thing you can pump out from barracks unless you have a tech lab or are in the campaign, and to get the upgrade that allows you to train medics without needing a tech lab, which is quite useful. Expansion going up for HerO down there, It's about a third of the way through, and looks as though we've got a stalker just making sure, holding the fort, making sure that nothing gets past. Bunkers down there for Liquid TaeJa, and swaps the racks and the factory over nicely, so that got a reactor so that he can pump out as many marines as possible. And we also have the tech lab going down for the factory, so presumably siege tanks. I misread that by the reactor going down over there. For the factory, he's going siege tanks probably. Can't get Thors yet, but pylon there, presumably in case he needs to warp in units. And we've got a cloaked Banshee up in the top corner, well not in the top corner, in the bottom corner, harassing the probes, which pulls all the probes away, which sends HerO's macro spiraling down into 0 minerals. So if we look at the army, worker supply and army supply, and if we look at units lost, 10 to 0. So at the moment it's not looking too good for HerO. However, he should be able to pull it back with some careful thinking and more build. But Banshee there, just gonna start taking out the Nexus as you do. Personally, I'd have taken out this probe here, not this probe, both of these pylons, because then you'd have no robotics or any of those. But it's probably for the best that he didn't, because we've got observer there, got an observer out and three sentries out to try and deny it. But we've got a probe there looking to deny the third for TaeJa, even though he's only just about to take his natural. And we've got a moderate-sized army moving out for TaeJa, which is, if I can drag the box, it looks to be 11 marines and a tank, in addition to a Banshee up there, and this probe just sneakily moving in, trying to infiltrate the base that is TaeJa's, but I don't think it's going to be able to do it very well. I think it was looking to deny the pylon, but no dice with that. So TaeJa coming around the back for an attack on the natural over here, and more Banshee play, making sure that those probes can't mine, because without an economy you can't really do anything. It's a tiny bit confusing as to why HerO's putting zealots in with his army, because zealots are absolutely useless against anti-air unless they suddenly develop the ability to jump about 10 meters up in the air. But considering that they have epic psionic abilities, I wouldn't be too surprised about. The observer making it hard for HerO to use the cloak on his Banshees, one of which are looking quite like traffic lights at the moment, with one in the green, one in the amber, one in the red. And we have a squadron of marines at the natural, trying to take down as much of the army as possible, but that will get denied. And he can't bring his Banshees up because HerO's clever and knows that if he diverts his whole army, oh no, he's diverting his whole army, and because the Banshees have moved off. That's surprising. I would have thought that, because it's quite something that I see quite a bit in ladder, if I sort of bring a decoy army to the natural, they'll instantly go, oh my god, something's attacking my natural, and I will just be able to go warp prism into the main, and then they have no probes, so they can't macro. But we've got a Raven out for TaeJa, presumably so that he can pick off observers, or Dark Templars, because the old moniker went behind Dark Shrine. However, it doesn't look as though that's going to be likely, because I cannot see the Templar archives going down. Well, not Templar archive. No, yes, I do mean Templar archives. But look at production. Double gas going down on the natural for HerO, and a reactor going down for TaeJa, and as well as an armory. Reactor on this barracks, so gone up to 4 racks, which is able to produce a significant number of marines. And I'm not sure where this factory is going. It seems to be traversing across the map. However, it does leave open 2 tech lab slots for 2 Raxes. and which is going to be quite useful for TaeJa, because a significant part of any Protoss army is the Stalkers, and Marauders are exceedingly good against Stalkers. The Observer sees the incoming Banshees. The Cloak is useless because of the Observer, but you can't see the Observer unless you look so carefully, because it's just a ripple. If I go to TaeJa's view, you can barely see it. It's the little ripple above. Well, can't even see it now because he's gone out of range. So I'll switch back to everybody's view. Floating this factory off across the map. Why not? It seems good as good idea as any. 2 refineries on the 3rd. Landing the 3rd now. Orbital command. And because the main's almost mined out. And we've got quite a bit more supply for the Terran than we do for the Protoss. And for the Terran we look as though we've got 2-1 coming out and Stim, as well as 2 Medevacs, 3 Marauders and 4 Marines. So TaeJa definitely in the lead on both army and worker supply, as well as upgrades. Mineral wise, he's ahead anyway, so nothing too surprising about that. Another axe going down, as well as Ghost Academy researching Mobius reactor for some reason. Not sure quite why he's getting Mobius reactor. Presumably so that if he needs to call a nuke or snipe or do any of the ghostly abilities straight away, he can. So that's one thing that HerO will have to bear in mind, because I don't think HerO's seen that he has Ghost Academy yet. But I suppose they've probably practiced together a lot, so they probably know each other's tactics. But we've also got Combat Shield coming out for the Terran, so that will increase the life of those SCVs, of those Marines, especially if combat. Getting all my upgrades mixed up. Especially if Stim's out, this Marine not going to stand much chance against this Phoenix. Going to harass them. But I'd have thought that it would be a bit late in the game to start Phoenix harassment, but it might work out. Don't know if he's seen this factory and is indeed going to go for it. It looks as though no, he doesn't. He's just trying to get a better angle of attack, but he doesn't realise that there is a missile turret there, unless he comes. Ooh, almost gets spotted by the Medivac down here. Just miss each other. It's quite close. But coming over into the natural, and he discovers that there's a missile turret, so that won't work. And so the Phoenix are both being pretty useless. Only got 1 kill between them, so that's half a kill each. And this probe's going to lay down the expansion when it gets to 400, so a moderately late 3rd. And TaeJa's definitely ahead of HerO in supply. There's a Twilight Council and the Templar Archive, so presumably going to be getting Storm when he can, after the expansion goes down, which it hasn't yet. Expansion's still not gone down. I know why. Terran army. Quite a big reason not to lay down an expansion. Morphing a couple of Archons from the High Templar, but I would have also left a couple of the High Templar sort of raw, so to speak, and put a Storm on them, because this army with a good 2 or 3 Storms would have been pretty much mush. And some more cloaked Banshee harass, but there's an Observer sitting there and a couple of Phoenixes, a couple of Phoenixes sitting there, just taking out these Banshees casually. But they have managed to do quite a bit of damage to the economy of HerO, with not that many minerals getting mined, because by this time I presume that the main's pretty much mined out, and he can't do anything at the natural because of the Banshees. So why not have 20 harvesters as an assimilator? Seems as good a plan as any. But apparently the Observer has decided to just go away, so there's going to be, and Cloak wears off, and the Banshee's taken down. HerO is now supply blocked, he can't warp in any more units. TaeJa is almost maxed out, and Factory still floating. I don't see why not, but it's floating. I'd have thought that he could have used it to produce something useful, like a couple of tanks or a couple of Hellions. Well, actually, no, Hellions aren't that useful in TVP. More useful in TVZ, especially in the early game. But we're not playing TVZ. We're playing TVP. And four of those medevacs, building 2 command centers because he's just got so much money to spend. Starts taking down some of that pylon, and HerO's going to come forward and try the takedown. Ghosts go cloak. However, I think there's an observer somewhere over here, possibly. Yes, there's an observer, so those ghosts can be taken down. But this is a very favourable engagement for TaeJa, and there's a GG by HerO. So 1-1 in the series, 2 games played, and it's all to play for the next 2 games and the series. So I will see you in game 3.